Yo, it's JB the Cowboy fan, and yes, sir, I'm back with another one. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Shout out to my subscribers. I appreciate y'all. Yes, sir. Shout out to my new subscribers. I just picked up a couple in the last day or two. I appreciate y'all. Yes, sir. Still on that quest, and I appreciate y'all for helping me get there continuously. But I'm finna jump right into this video, man. So we got Jesse Holly, Clarence Hill Jr., and Jeff Kavanaugh on DLS Sports. And the topic of the discussion was, will the Cowboys have a top 10 offense with a healthy Dak Prescott? I looked at a little bit of this video and stuff, and I wanted to react to it because it seemed like they was getting offended at the fact that the Cowboys wasn't in the top 10 in the top 10 of offensive rankings. But if we remember, Dak was garbage last season. Went 3-5 before he got hurt. So why would they be in the top 10 offenses? And why are they so offended by that? It just seemed like they think people hating on the Cowboys so much. But I'm looking at it as, what has the Cowboys shown and proved to change the narrative of that? Nothing. So they want to big up or be offended by not having, or being in the rankings of having a top 10 offense. But what is having a top 10 offense going to do? We seen Dak with a top 10 offense. What the fuck did that do? So I'm gonna get right into this video, man. React to some of this shit they saying, bro.
What I was looking through was on NFL.com, the top 10 offenses for 2025. And so, like, they have on there the top 10 teams from the 2024 regular season based on points per game, blah, 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 blah. So who is it going to be this year? Who's going to be the top 10? And they have Kansas City at number 10, by the way. Which, okay. And they were carried by their defense a lot last year. Kansas City 10, Cincinnati 9, Green Bay 8, Philadelphia 7, Denver 6, Detroit 5, Washington 4, Baltimore 3, Tampa 2, Buffalo 1. Top 10 offenses in football for 2025. And what I want to ask the people and y'all,
the peoples,
are we doing some hating on the Cowboys, and why? Because I wanted to go look. I was like, when Dak Prescott plays football.
Wait a minute, but who's hating on the Cowboys? What have the Cowboys done? I don't get it. What have the Cowboys done? And to me, Clarence Hill Jr. and this guy Jeff Kavanaugh, they sound like two big Slurpees, bro. Two big Slurpees.
When was the last time they weren't like a top 10 offense? And the answer is they've never. So the last 4 of the last 6 years, Dak's been healthy. Andy Dalton year and Cooper Rush year, yeah, they weren't a top 10 offense. NFL ranking in yards for the Cowboys the last 4 healthy Dak seasons. 1, 11, 5. 3 top 5s and 1 was 11 in yards. In points, with healthy Dak, 6th, 1st, 4th, 1st. What are we doing?
And none of that shit translated in the playoffs. It's funny they like to brag about all his regular season stats and his regular season accomplishments. The mediocrity, man, I don't understand. They just settle for this shit. Where's the higher expectations other than regular season bullshit stats? So y'all are offended because the Cowboys not ranked in the top 10 of offense when Dak clearly showed last year he wasn't there at 3-5, faked his injury, then called out the team and said we suck. But y'all offended by our rankings of not being in the top 10? Man, this shit, bro, I'm telling you, man.
Pretending that the Cowboys aren't going to have a good offense.
I think there's a little concern.
About what?
About your quarterback.
Health?
There is some concern about your quarterback's health.
Shit.
There's still some concern about
To me, is his health, his accuracy, and his anticipation. his mental mind frame when it matters the most, even in the regular season against good teams. It's a lot to worry about with this quarterback. Shit, not just his health.
Your quarterback's offensive line.
For sure. A little bit of that. Left tackle.
You
A
know,
little bit of right tackle.
and you have the addition of George Pickens. You don't know what your running game is going to be. That's still up for grabs. So you think that having the addition of George Pickens and then having Cee Dee that will account for something. But I think people are because you said 4 out of the last 6 years, 2 of those years Dak wasn't healthy.
Correct.
And I think people, I'm not saying me, I'm not saying us, I'm not saying our show.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people? I think people are getting to the point where they may begin to question the quality of health that Dak Prescott will give you through the duration of the season. And that might be something. What am I missing?
No, you were doing great, and it was right when you were finishing a sentence I started laughing because I looked at the chat and I was like, "Damn it, Jesse's gonna be like, what the hell,
Yeah,
man?"
well, like now you got to talk about it.
Jeremy said maybe it's the way the light's hitting the elbow,
Yeah.
but it never looked like before.
I've been looking at my elbow. It's not ashy, man. It's the light.
And I'm like, yeah, Jesse, that's a good point. That's a good point. I glanced at the chat. You were
That's what we're doing.
finishing your sentence. I'm like, oh, Jesse's gonna be mad because I'm like,
Man, every time I put these heaters out,
Ain't nothing wrong with the
I
elbow,
can't
man. It's
never
on the
get off the
table.
heater. Look at
It's on the table, man. Ain't nothing wrong with the elbow, man. Stop it.
Clarence, are they hating on the Cowboys offense?
They are, and they hating on my elbows. Yes, I think so. I like how you phrased it. Yeah,
He was listening. See,
Yeah, because he opened up.
he was listening. He said, "I like how you phrased it."
Because you opened up, you did a little capital. You was hating on the quarterback. Well, he can't stay healthy. Yeah, they questioned the quarterback.
But you said they, not him.
I mean,
I said
he
they,
legit- he
not
leg-
me.
But you didn't
not
jump
us.
off this table.
But you legitimized it by bringing it up first.
Oh yeah, I'm out.
Yeah,
I've already jumped
yeah.
I've
So what are
already,
we talking
I've
about?
already,
Yeah,
I
so
mean, last
right
year,
there.
but last year he said,
Jump off if you
"Jump
want
off
to.
if you want
So
to,"
he was just talking about
and
the
I
team.
jumped off,
He
and
was
he
trying to say,
and
right,
so
he was
did his
trying to be
hamstring.
tough. Stop. Listen,
Hamstring jump right off the
Jump
bone.
right off the bone. He was
Listen.
like, hell, I'm going with Jesse.
listen,
See ya.
listen, I swear to God, everywhere I go, I get in arguments about the quarterback.
You.
Oh, we're
arguments.
aware,
Wow.
but it ain't just a quarterback.
But it's mainly about the quarterback. I'm talking about, there are a lot of Cowboys, like Atlanta, there are a lot of diehard Cowboy fans. Love the Cowboys. Hate the quarterback.
Yeah.
I was at an event last week in Fort Worth. Love the Cowboys. Hate the quarterback. I was at Spud's house. A police officer just
Name
retired.
drop.
Love the Cowboys. Hate the quarterback.
'Cause he
I
suck.
cannot. It just drives me crazy that so many Cowboy fans eat their own. They hate their own quarterback. I mean, it's like, yeah, I love the Cowboys, but
Man, it's not about hating this guy. It's about what he's shown us through the years. He's shown us that you could give him a goddamn all Madden team and he still fuck it up. People getting tired of the mediocrity. He goes 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. Y'all brag about him being top 5 elite. Y'all brag about him being second team all pro, runner up the MVP, and I don't understand why. You brag about being in second place. This shit is not personal, man. It's his game on the field.
he's a loser and he never plays well. The dude was just runner-up MVP.
See? There you go.
And he pressured
And
See?
people just like, that's like no big deal. He never wins big games.
That was
What?
2 seasons ago, right?
See?
Here you go.
Here you
Well, he
go.
was hurt last year.
Here you go. Hold
You know,
up.
he
Hold up.
never-
Hold up. He just said it. He just said it.
Big deal. He never wins big games.
That
What?
was 2 seasons ago, right? Yeah, 2 years ago.
Well, he was hurt last year.
Yeah,
You know, he never.
He was also healthy last year to the tune of like 2 and 4.
He never
3
comes
and
through in the
5.
clutch. And you can say what you want about Pittsburgh, but that drive against Pittsburgh was amazing. You know, but
See, I bet you he ain't gonna mention. He's not gonna mention that Dak Prescott had 3 turnovers, 2 in the red zone, fumbled in the red zone, threw a pick in the red zone. The man had 3 turnovers in that game versus Pittsburgh. But all they can say is about he came through in the end. So you're gonna lift him up after he dug us in the hole.
well, that wasn't a good team. You know, that don't count.
I don't
it's
care
like-
about Green Bay and San Fran.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me that
I don't
people.
care that he retired
but-
Tom Brady. I don't care about none.
But to your point,
And that's another one what Jeff just said. Retired Tom Brady. I don't mean to stop it so many times, man, but damn, bro, this shit is ridiculous. This sound like it just sounds like to me this is a bunch of slurping going on. Because that's the same shit they use. They say, well, he retired Tom Brady. Well, what about the two games in 2021, 2022 at the beginning of the season when they played in Tampa Bay, he got his ass beat, and they played in Dallas, he got his ass beat. When that Tampa Bay team was a healthy, good team. They're only looking at when that 8 and 9 Tampa Bay playoff team with a sorry ass defense and wasn't doing shit. He retired Tom Brady. Bullshit, man.
Care that he retired Tom Brady. I don't care about none.
But to your point, when Dak is healthy, they are a top 10 offense. When Dak is healthy, they're a playoff team. They're a playoff contender. So obviously, since everybody wants to project about Red Bull and everybody else come out and be in the in the offseason, if Dak is healthy, how can you say this is not a playoff team? How can you say this is not going to be
when he was healthy last season, before he went 3-5, he was garbage. So how just because when he healthy, that's just going to equate that the offense is going to be good? This shit don't never translate to the playoffs though.
That if Dak is healthy and plays, they're going to be a contender. And now you add in Pickens, which they haven't had in a couple of years, to this offense. There's no question that this offense is going to be explosive as it was a couple of years ago. And just watching that,
no question.
I don't think there's any question about that.
No.
I mean, clearly, if they're no.
No, he's trying to ask this.
Clearly, if they're not on the field, yes, you have a question. Right. But if they're on the field, then we can only assume because I know you're saying his health is showing that he's not going to be on the field. But there are people that believe that even if he's on the field, he's a bad quarterback.
No,
that's not true.
I don't believe that.
So if he's on the field, there are people that will contend. It's not about the.
Yeah, we know on the field during the regular season, Dak is a regular season book. He's going to put up numbers against garbage teams, beat up secondaries, and his yards and stats and touchdowns be inflated. But when he play against a team that's a good team with 10 wins or more in the regular season or in the playoffs, he shits himself. Dude crumbles like a cookie, man. These Slurpees, bro, I'm telling you. These Slurpees.
Injury for them. It's about that. He's like what is Shady call him ass, okay? He's this, he's that. That's not true. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but he's a top 10 quarterback.
Top 10?
Top 10. He's a legitimate top 10 quarterback. And when he's on the field and playing, which is what we all are talking about, they're going to be a good offense. They're going to be a team that contends. My issue with the Cowboys is I don't know if they can stop the run.
Yeah, I think they have multiple big questions. Because you're not wrong. You're not wrong that when Dak plays, they generally make the playoffs and have a top 10 offense. Both of those things are true. Both those things, Daddy. But I also do think that this roster is definitely going to be better than it was a year ago. But
offensively or overall?
Overall.
Okay.
I think it'll be that's hard because so many of the guys were hurt that are gone that I might be factoring that in. But I don't think it's a better roster than we're used to. Like, they had at least an off season where they did add one potentially impact player and some other guys that can help. Whereas last year they didn't do any of that. So I think this roster is better than a year ago, but I don't think it's as good as 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, the receivers are better than they were 2.
Sure, George Pickens helps a lot.
Yeah, because even during Dak's.
So they're just going to forget about Brandon Cooks. Once again, bro. Once again. They just forget about the weapons Dak had. And in 2023 and 2024, he had Brandon Cooks. So it's all of a sudden going to be different because they got Pickens. Wow. Man, another edition of this Dak Slurpee Chronicles, bro, because these two guys, Jeff Kovanoff and Clarence Hill Jr., yeah, they slurping. I think Jesse Holley already jumped, like he said. He jumped off the bandwagon. And Dak is going to have to do something this year, get to the NFC Championship game. It ain't just going to be about the regular season stats, him getting 10 wins and all that bullshit. Nah, bro. We want to see something better. We want to see this team go farther. And just one playoff win, that's not going to do it, bro. That's not going to do it. Yo, y'all get in the comments, let me know what y'all think about what they were talking about in this video. Bro, we in trouble, man. All these folks think just because Dak coming back, the Cowboys finna go get 12, 13 wins. Bullshit. Yo, this is JB the Cowboy fan. I appreciate y'all for listening to me. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go, Cowboys.
I'm glad. I will tell you this. If there's a human breathing that I've ever met that I'm proud that took advantage of me financially, I'm proud it's the one sitting to the right. And Dak.